Far beyond the reaches of the known galaxies, where stars twinkled like distant fires and the void held secrets older than time itself, something new and unsettling stirred. From the far edges of human space, whispers began to travel through the cosmic channels and interstellar networks, rumors of enormous warships unlike any the Galactic Council had ever seen. These were not just vessels. They were colossal dark matter warships, silent and powerful, drifting through space with engines that pulsed faintly with an eerie blue light. The Council, a coalition of the most advanced and powerful alien civilizations, united to maintain peace and order in the galaxy, took notice. Members gathered in hurried meetings, their faces grave, eyes sharp with curiosity and concern. The arrival of such technology from humanity's sector was unexpected, and the Council's spies and scouts struggled to learn more. As the warships closed in on the capital of the Galactic Council, a place once considered the safest haven in the galaxy, unease grew stronger among its inhabitants. These ships did not broadcast friendly signals, nor did they send diplomats to ask for alliance or friendship. Instead, they moved with purpose, their presence bold and undeniable. The dark matter engines, unseen before in any known fleet, shimmered softly but with a strength that seemed to bend the very fabric of space around them. No one could say where the humans had built these marvels or how they had harnessed such strange and powerful forces. The Galactic Council's envoys watched from their observation decks, their fingers tightening on the railings as they studied the strange ships. The warships did not send messages of peace, nor did they declare war. Instead, their silence spoke volumes, demanding attention, respect, and a place among the galaxy's great powers. The council chambers, usually filled with calm discussions and polite debates, now buzzed with tension. Every member knew that the arrival of humanity's fleet was a turning point. The humans had stepped onto the galactic stage not as mere newcomers, but as challengers who refused to bow or hide. Diplomats and scientists scrambled to understand the nature of the dark matter engines, but the technology defied their best theories. These ships could move through space with unmatched speed and stealth, appearing and disappearing like ghosts. They could pass through solid matter without damage and seemed almost invincible to known weapons. The humans themselves remained an enigma. Unlike other species that sent elaborate ceremonies or humble greetings, humanity's representatives were quiet and composed, speaking only when necessary and always with calm certainty. Their leaders, chosen for their strength and wisdom, did not seek to provoke but made it clear that humanity would no longer be ignored or underestimated. Throughout the capital, citizens and officials alike whispered in wonder and fear. Was this a threat? A warning? Or the dawn of a new era where humans would claim their rightful place among the stars? Tensions rose as council members debated their response. Some urged caution, proposing secret talks to avoid conflict. Others called for shows of strength, fearful of humanity's growing power. Yet no one could deny the feeling that something had shifted in the galaxy's balance. The dark matter warships stood silent, their shadows stretching across the spaceport. A reminder that humanity had entered a new chapter, one that would test the limits of diplomacy, courage, and the will to survive. As the sun dipped behind distant nebulae, the warships remained anchored near the capital, waiting. Their crews watched the council's movements with quiet patience, knowing that soon, the first steps of a monumental journey would begin. The galaxy held its breath, caught between hope and uncertainty, as humanity's dark matter warships shattered the calm and set the stage for a story that no one could yet imagine. The moment the dark matter warships settled near the Galactic Council's capital, a wave of intense curiosity and caution swept across the scientific and strategic communities of the galaxy. Experts from countless worlds, each with their own unique knowledge and technology, were summoned to study the human ships closely. These warships were unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. Silent giants of unknown origin, their surfaces, smooth and dark, reflecting the stars in an almost unnatural way. At the heart of their mystery lay the engines, which hummed with a power that seemed to come from the fabric of the universe itself. Dark matter. Scientists from the Council's top research centers worked day and night, running tests and simulations, hoping to unlock the secrets hidden within the ship's core. What they found challenged every principle of physics and energy they had studied for centuries. Dark matter manipulation, the very foundation of these warships' abilities, was not just a new technology, it was a revolution. The humans had found a way to bend space and matter, to slip through solid objects without resistance, and to generate energy on a scale previously believed impossible. Instruments designed to measure power outputs were pushed to their limits, sometimes malfunctioning in the presence of the ship's unique fields. Despite the Council's experts' best efforts, the inner workings of the engines and weapons remained stubbornly elusive. Attempts to communicate with the human commanders about their technology met with silence or vague responses. The humans revealed only what they wished to, speaking calmly and confidently as if the technology was a simple tool rather than a miracle of engineering. Their poise unsettled even the most seasoned council members, who were accustomed to other species boasting or pleading for advantage. Instead, the humans seemed indifferent to intimidation or admiration, showing a quiet certainty that suggested they knew their own strength well. The warship's capabilities soon became clearer, and the implications were staggering. These vessels could phase through the hulls of other ships or space stations, bypassing traditional defenses without firing a shot. Their energy systems could power entire fleets for months without refueling, while their weapons were designed not to destroy but to disable, targeting systems, engines, and communications with precision strikes that rendered enemies powerless without loss of life. This approach baffled many council strategists, who had long believed that conflict could only be won through overwhelming force and destruction. The humans' method suggested a different philosophy, one that valued control, discipline, and perhaps even mercy. Yet this same philosophy sparked worry. If humanity could disable an entire fleet silently and efficiently, what stopped them from imposing their will across the galaxy with little resistance? Were the humans preparing to dominate or to protect? The council was divided. Some representatives urged caution and called for careful diplomacy, hoping to turn humanity into a strong ally that could bring new technologies and perspectives to the alliance. Others viewed the humans as a dangerous unknown, a force that could upset the delicate balance of power and threaten centuries of peace. Suspicion ran deep, fueled by the lack of transparency from the human side. The council's leaders debated endlessly, their discussions filled with tension and uncertainty. Was humanity a new hope for cooperation or the beginning of a conflict, unlike any before? As weeks passed, spies and observers from many worlds tried to gather intelligence on human intentions, but the humans maintained their silence, communicating only through formal channels and showing no signs of aggression. In the quiet moments, the dark matter warship seemed almost alive, their engines pulsing softly like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant, waiting for the moment to reveal their true purpose. This silence only heightened the unease. The council's halls echoed with whispered fears and cautious optimism as members wrestled with the unknown. Meanwhile, human crews operated with calm efficiency, maintaining their ships and preparing for whatever might come next. They did not seek conflict, but they did not fear it. Their confidence was a message in itself, that humanity had arrived, powerful and unyielding, ready to take its place in the galaxy, regardless of the doubts or fears of others. In this balance of mystery and might, the stage was set. The unveiling of the dark matter warships was more than a technological breakthrough. It was a turning point that forced the Galactic Council to confront a future filled with both promise and peril. As the stars watched silently, the galaxy waited to see if humanity would become a force for unity or division, a light to guide or a shadow to fear. The calm tension that had settled over the Galactic Council's capital was shattered in an instant when, during what was meant to be a routine patrol, one of humanity's dark matter warships appeared suddenly, intercepting the Council's flagship with precise and silent efficiency. The flagship, a symbol of the Council's power and unity, found itself surrounded in deep space by the sleek dark vessel that had so far remained a mystery. Instead of attacking or firing weapons, the human captain calmly activated the ship's communication system and broadcast a message that rippled across the Council's networks, startling every member who heard it. The message was clear and direct, a challenge. The human commander proposed a test of strength and honor, a series of non-lethal battles designed not to destroy but to measure skill, strategy, and resilience. This unexpected move caught the Galactic Council off guard. Some saw it as boldness, even arrogance, the kind that only a species certain of its power and place could display. Others, however, saw it as an opportunity, an opening to learn more about humans and their true intentions without resorting to conflict or fear. The challenge stirred debate within the council chambers, with voices rising and falling as representatives argued passionately about the risks and benefits. Would accepting the challenge bring peace through understanding, or was it a dangerous game that could provoke hostility? As word spread throughout the galaxy, excitement and apprehension grew in equal measure. Scholars, strategists, soldiers, and civilians alike followed every development with intense interest, wondering how the humans would fight and what the outcome might mean for the future. The idea of battles fought not to kill, but to prove worth and build respect, fascinated many. When the council finally agreed to accept the challenge, a new energy filled the air, a mix of anticipation and cautious hope. Humans and aliens prepared for contests that would push their skills and technologies to the limit, but without the threat of destruction. The first encounter was set in a remote system, far from populated worlds, to ensure safety and fairness. As the day arrived, fleets from both sides gathered, their crews tense but determined. The human warship glided into position, its dark matter engines humming with silent power. The Council's flagship responded with its own display of strength, shields rising and weapon systems ready, though none expected their weapons to be used. The battles that followed were intense and intricate, a dance of tactics and timing rather than brute force. Humans demonstrated creativity and adaptability, using their unique technology and quick thinking to outmaneuver their opponents without causing harm. The Council's commanders were forced to rethink their strategies and assumptions about combat. Each round revealed something new about the humans: their discipline, their respect for the rules, and their desire to win through skill rather than destruction. As the contest progressed, tensions among the council members shifted. Doubters began to respect the human approach, seeing in it a chance for a different kind of future, one where conflicts could be settled through honor and intelligence instead of violence. Yet the fear of the unknown lingered. Was this challenge truly a peaceful test or a subtle display of power meant to intimidate and control? The humans maintained their calm confidence, never boasting or threatening, simply letting their actions speak. Their quiet strength unsettled many but also inspired others. Outside the formal battles, secret discussions took place among the council's leaders, weighing the implications of the challenge and the humans' growing influence. Some feared that if humanity's technology and tactics spread, it could upset the fragile balance of power in the galaxy. Others believed that accepting the challenge was the first step toward true cooperation, a new era where diverse civilizations could learn from one another and grow stronger together. Meanwhile, the humans prepared for each new encounter with focus and determination. Their crews trained hard, studying their opponents and refining their techniques. The dark matter warships, though powerful, were only as effective as the people who controlled them, and humanity's strength lay not just in technology but in the will to prove themselves worthy partners in the galaxy. As the series of battles continued, stories of daring maneuvers, close calls, and brilliant strategies spread through the stars. The galaxy watched in awe and suspense, knowing that whatever the outcome, the presence of humanity had already changed everything. The challenge was more than a fight. It was a test of identity, respect, and the possibility of a new way to exist among the stars. As the final rounds approached, both humans and council members realized that this moment would be remembered for generations, the day when the dark matter warships came not to conquer but to connect through strength and honor. Across the wide reaches of distant star systems, far beyond the familiar boundaries of the Galactic Council's usual patrol routes, a series of battles unfolded that would come to be remembered as the most unusual contests in galactic history. These were not wars of destruction or conquest, but tests of skill, will, and intelligence. Contests designed to push the limits of strategy without spilling a drop of blood. The humans, aboard their dark matter warships, moved through space, with a confidence born of deep understanding and innovation. Their approach to battle was unlike anything the Council's commanders had encountered before. While alien fleets relied on overwhelming firepower, advanced shields, and rigid formations, the humans combined their mysterious technology with unexpected tactics that left their opponents scrambling to adapt. Their ships could phase through obstacles, slip past sensors, and strike where least expected, all while avoiding lethal force. This blend of technology and creativity revealed a new way to fight, a dance of minds and machines rather than a clash of brute strength. The human crews demonstrated an astonishing ability to learn quickly, adjust their strategies, and exploit even the smallest weaknesses in their adversaries' plans. They embraced flexibility over rigid rules, improvisation over tradition, and calm over panic. This adaptability caught many seasoned alien commanders off guard. Leaders who had spent decades honing their tactics found themselves challenged in ways they never imagined, forced to rethink everything they believed about warfare. The humans did not seek to destroy their enemies but to outthink them, to disable systems and outmaneuver with precision and respect. This approach sparked a slow but steady change in the hearts and minds of those watching. Long-held prejudices against humanity, the belief that humans were reckless, violent, or unsophisticated, began to crumble. Witnessing the humans' discipline, restraint, and honor in battle, many council members started to see them not as a threat to be feared, but as worthy competitors and potential partners. The battles became a stage for humanity's true character, one that combined strength with restraint, innovation with respect, and power with purpose. News of these engagements spread quickly through the galaxy, reaching not only the councils, chambers, but also ordinary citizens, scholars, and soldiers from countless worlds. Discussions sparked everywhere, on space stations, trading posts, and even quiet villages, about what these new humans represented. The idea that conflict could be resolved without destruction, that skill and honor could replace fear and hatred, inspired hope in some and uncertainty in others. Within the council itself, this shift was palpable. Debates became more open to understanding humanity's role in galactic affairs. Some members began to advocate for formal alliances and knowledge exchange, believing that humans could help solve long-standing problems with their fresh perspective and advanced technology. Yet despite growing respect, caution remained. Many wondered if humans' unorthodox methods could be trusted, or if beneath their calm exterior lay ambitions yet unseen. Could this new power be contained within the bounds of honor and cooperation? Or would it eventually upset the fragile balance the Council had maintained for centuries? Throughout the battles, the humans showed no signs of aggression beyond the agreed challenge. Their captains communicated clearly and respectfully, always emphasizing the spirit of the contest rather than conquest. This consistency reassured some skeptics and deepened respect among others. The human crews worked with a quiet determination, fully aware that their performance in these engagements was more than a test of skill. It was a statement of identity. Their success was not measured only by wins and losses, but by the trust and understanding they could build across the stars. As the engagement stretched on, the complexity and creativity of the battles grew. Humans devised new tactics that combined their dark matter technology with psychological insight, predicting opponents' moves and adapting in real time. They used non-lethal weapons to disable engines, scramble communications, and neutralize weapons without causing lasting harm. These methods forced alien commanders to develop new defenses and rethink their strategies, leading to a rapid evolution in galactic warfare tactics. Each battle ended with handshakes, nods of respect, and sometimes the beginning of conversations that reached beyond the battlefield. Old rivalries softened in the face of this new example, and for the first time in a long time, many felt a cautious optimism about the future of galactic relations. The humans had arrived not to dominate or destroy, but to demonstrate a different path, one where intelligence, honor, and cooperation could overcome fear and violence. As the final engagements of the series approached, both sides prepared for what would be the ultimate test of wit and will. The Council's members gathered once more, no longer divided by suspicion alone, but united in curiosity and hope. They recognized that humanity's presence was reshaping the galaxy's destiny, and that this moment was more than a competition. It was a chance to rewrite the rules of interstellar existence. Amid the stars, in the silent depths of space, the battles of wit and will continued, weaving a new story of respect, courage, and shared futures. The galaxy watched, breath held, as humanity's dark matter warships carved a path not just through space but through the hearts of those who had once doubted them, proving that even the greatest divides could be bridged by strength tempered with honor. As the final battles of the challenge concluded, the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would come next from the enigmatic humans and their dark matter warships. Humanity stood undefeated, not because they had crushed their opponents, but because they had demonstrated a level of skill, honor, and restraint that none could match. Their victory was not measured in destruction or conquest, but in respect, earned and trust built. Instead of demanding submission or dominance, the human leaders extended an unexpected offer to the Galactic Council, a proposal of cooperation, knowledge sharing, and mutual growth. This gesture surprised many, for it was clear that humanity's power was great enough to impose its will if it wished, yet they chose a different path. The Council, a body long accustomed to diplomacy, weighed by politics and power struggles, found itself humbled and enlightened by this bold approach. The old divisions between species, once sharp and bitter, began to soften as members saw that strength combined with honor could create opportunities rather than conflicts. Humanity's dark matter warships, once symbols of mystery and fear, now stood as emblems of innovation and unity, shining beacons of what could be achieved when power is guided by principle. The Council convened a historic meeting, one filled with both solemn respect and hopeful anticipation. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy came together to discuss the new alliance that was forming before their eyes. There was a sense of cautious optimism, as well as a recognition that the future would not be shaped by force alone, but by collaboration and shared vision. The humans shared insights into their technology, revealing just enough to foster cooperation without risking their own security. Scientists from diverse worlds eagerly embraced the chance to study dark matter manipulation, envisioning new possibilities for energy, travel, and peacekeeping. Military leaders from both sides discussed new strategies that balanced defense with diplomacy, inspired by the humans' example of restraint and precision. This new galactic alliance was more than a political agreement. It was a shift in mindset, a collective step toward a future where differences were not threats, but strengths. The old barriers that had separated species for centuries began to crumble, replaced by a growing sense of unity and common purpose. Trade routes opened wider, cultural exchanges flourished, and joint missions into unexplored space brought fresh discoveries and shared wonder. Humanity's presence, once seen as a challenge, became a catalyst for renewal. Yet this transformation was not without its challenges. Some factions remained wary, unwilling to trust so quickly or give up old grievances. They watched from the shadows, waiting for signs that the alliance might falter or that humanity's power would turn toward domination. But the humans, steadfast in their commitment, continued to act with transparency and respect, slowly winning over even the most skeptical voices. Throughout the galaxy, stories spread of unexpected friendships, peaceful resolutions to conflicts, and the rise of new leaders inspired by the ideals of honor and cooperation. The dark matter warships, symbols once of fearsome might, now carried diplomats, scientists, and explorers as often as soldiers, sailing the stars as ambassadors of a new era. Humanity's entrance onto the galactic stage reshaped politics in profound ways. The balance of power no longer depended solely on weapons or territory, but on the ability to inspire trust and work together. Alliances formed across old divides, and new institutions were built to support peace and shared progress. This new order promised not only safety, but the chance for all species to thrive, learn, and grow. In quiet moments, far from the bustle of council chambers and starports, many wondered if this was the beginning of a golden age. Could the galaxy truly move beyond fear and suspicion toward unity and hope? The answer seemed to lie in the dark matter warships themselves. Powerful and mysterious, yet guided by the steady hands and clear minds of those who believed that strength without honor was empty, and that honor without strength was vulnerable. As humanity's ships continued their journeys through the cosmos, they carried with them the hopes of countless worlds. Their bold entrance had broken barriers that no one thought could fall, and forged a future where differences were celebrated, and cooperation was the greatest weapon of all. The galaxy was changing, shaped by the courage to challenge old ways, and the wisdom to build something better. And in that change, the promise of a brighter, more peaceful future shone like a star brighter than any other in the night sky. After the last of the challenge battles concluded, the galaxy waited with bated breath, unsure what would come next. From the humans who had entered their midst with such power and mystery, humanity's dark matter warships had proven unbeatable, not through ruthless destruction, but through unmatched skill, strategy, and honor. This left many across the stars, both awed and curious. The humans did not declare themselves conquerors or rulers. Instead, they extended a hand of cooperation to the Galactic Council, offering to share their technology and knowledge, inviting all species to join in a new era of growth and peace. This offer shocked many council members who had braced for a declaration of dominance or a demand for submission. The humility and vision behind humanity's gesture marked a turning point in the history of galactic relations. The Galactic Council, once a body deeply divided and cautious of every new arrival, now found itself humbled and inspired. Slowly, the old rivalries and fears that had long shaped politics across the stars began to fade. The dark matter warships, once feared for their seemingly limitless power, became symbols not just of strength but of innovation, hope, and unity. In an extraordinary summit, the Council convened representatives from countless civilizations who gathered to forge a new alliance based on mutual respect and shared goals. Here, humans and aliens alike discussed how to combine their knowledge to solve problems that no one species could face alone. Challenges like resource scarcity, unexplored space, and threats from rogue factions. The alliance grew quickly as scholars and scientists from many worlds eagerly studied human dark matter technology, uncovering ways to harness energy more efficiently, travel faster, and build safer defenses. Military leaders exchanged ideas on how to defend their people without resorting to needless violence, inspired by humanity's example of precise, non-lethal combat tactics. This cooperation created new bonds, breaking down long-standing walls between species and cultures. Trade routes that had once been dangerous or blocked opened up, allowing goods, ideas, and cultures to flow freely. Cultural exchanges blossomed, with artists, philosophers, and explorers traveling among worlds, sharing stories and traditions in ways never before possible. Humanity's presence, which had begun as a mysterious challenge, soon became a uniting force that reshaped the political landscape of the galaxy. But change always brought challenges. Some groups and individuals remained suspicious or resistant, unwilling to accept that a new power could rise without threatening their own positions. They watched carefully, looking for signs that humanity's intentions might shift toward control or conquest. In response, the humans maintained their calm and steady approach, continuing to act with transparency and respect, proving through their actions that their goals were true. Over time, even the most doubtful began to see the benefits of working together. Stories of unexpected alliances, peaceful conflict resolutions, and joint missions of discovery spread across star systems, reinforcing the promise of a brighter future. The dark matter warships that once inspired fear now carried diplomats, scientists, and explorers just as often as soldiers. They traveled the galaxy as ambassadors of a new way to live and cooperate. The entrance of humanity onto the galactic stage reshaped not only politics but the very way species saw one another. Power was no longer simply measured by the might of one's weapons or the size of one's fleet, but by the ability to inspire trust and build lasting relationships. New institutions and agreements arose, designed to maintain peace, promote innovation, and encourage cultural exchange on a scale never imagined before. In the quiet moments between council meetings and missions, many beings pondered the future and what humanity's arrival truly meant. Could this be the dawn of a golden age, where fear gave way to hope and division was replaced by unity? The answer seemed to lie in the very essence of the dark matter warships themselves. Though powerful and mysterious, they were controlled by people who understood that true strength required both honor and compassion. Strength without respect was dangerous, and respect without strength left one vulnerable. As humanity's ships continued their voyages among the stars, they carried with them the hopes of many worlds. Their bold, honorable entrance had broken down barriers that once seemed unbreakable, and opened the door to a future where diversity was celebrated and cooperation was the greatest weapon of all. The galaxy was changing, shaped by the courage to challenge old ideas and the wisdom to build something better for all. And in that change, a new light shone, bright, steady, and full of promise, guiding all who looked up at the stars toward a future filled with peace and endless possibilities.